I'm your hustling homie, your platform partner, and I want to share with you a moment where we talk about trusting your spirit and making decisions based on faith. And how do you go about making those decisions when everyone around you is telling you to do something different? How do you then move through that? You see, because we're all going to reach a time in life where we want to do something and we feel it in us, but everyone around you is telling you don't do it. Now, sometimes they're telling, people, sometimes it's good reason, logical reasons why people tell you don't do it, because it makes sense for you not to do it, right? But I want you to understand, when you following your spirit, many times the spirit will not look logical. See, that's the purpose of faith. You're believing in things that are not seen. See, some people have to see to believe, like your friends, and then there's others who can believe before they see. This is like you, or the person that's achieved in their greatest dreams. They're believing in something that is illogical, irrational, that doesn't make sense. And there's going to be situations where you got to know how to trust yourself, and you got to believe what's in you and not necessarily what's on you. See, that's the difference. Like, a lot of us, we just go for what's on us and not what's in us. It's the difference. What I mean by that is, we'll see people and they'll be dressed nice like a business person, but just because they're a business person, that doesn't mean that they're about good business, right? Because inside of them is probably a really broke down, corrupt person that doesn't know how to perform and promise and deliver on the promises they gave you. We've all seen salespeople that hype up something, and then you go to the movie or you go get the product and you're like, is this it? It wasn't even good, right? So we got to realize it's about what's in you and not always what's on you. We've also seen the opposite. We've seen people who've achieved amazing things, and sometimes you haven't seen them, but there's many people who've achieved some very powerful things, and it's not always a lot of money, but they achieved what they wanted and they're happy and fulfilled. And because it took them going with faith, and they took a leap doing something that people around them didn't even think was possible. I mean, even some of your favorite musical artists or rappers that you love, many times if you go around the people they grew up with and ask them if they saw this coming, they would say no. It's they same friends, family members that'll say that they didn't think that person had it in them. Right? Because many times our friends and family members, they project on us their own insecurities. Now, I'm not telling you that you shouldn't listen to your friends and family, because you still should. Your friends, family, they love you, and you should definitely consider counsel. Like, every king or queen knows how to get counsel from their advisors. Every president has an advisory board, and you listen to your advisors. You get that data, you do your research. So you do want to logically still have a plan. I'm not saying you just shooting off the hip with no plan, but at some point, what I am saying, you have to understand, this is where self-awareness come in. You got to be sold out on you. I'm not telling you to just believe and have faith on something that you don't know if you really can do or not. See, I'm talking to the people that you know what you're capable of, because you've done it many, many times, and you know you got the resources, but you still are stagnant because you just don't have faith. I'm talking to the person that got all of the tools, you got the resources, you got the contacts, you know what to do, but your ass is thinking so goddamn much where you ain't made no progress and you stagnant. I'm talking to them people. The people that you getting upset because you seeing other people around you progressing when you know you got that in you too, but it's just something that's stopping you. Maybe it wasn't your time. Maybe you just don't have enough faith. Maybe you too concerned on what other people think. And so there comes a time, where you have to go with what you know and go with the flow and what's in you and glow. Everything that I've done that was significant to me, meaning it made me happy, it made me say, damn, were things that people around me told me don't do. Or it was somebody who just popped up out of nowhere, gave me some resistance, and it looked big. Now, Don't get me wrong. I've also been successful doing things that I knew that would work. And to me, even though I was successful, it wasn't as good as the thing that I had faith in, that I was unsure about. That just was it. It was like even greater abundance and results. I remember when I wanted to speak, like be a public speaker. I wanted to go on these stages and inspire people. And I wanted to do it with Toastmasters and International. And I remember when I first said I was going to join, there were people around me. Some of them were like, Toastmasters, that thing is whack. You know, those people are, you know, boring speakers. They're not quote unquote real speakers. And people were just throwing a lot of shade. And then I get to Toastmasters and I said, I'm going to enter this contest. Here it is. I'm brand new, not even signed the papers yet. And I'm telling the guys, hey, I'm going to enter the contest and compete. The guy that was normally the winner in that contest, named Terry. Terry looked at me. He said, well, too bad. You're going to have to wait till next year, because this year, he said, I'm going to win. And not only did he say he was going to win, but he said that it's no way that I was going to meet the qualifications, because I had to give 6 speeches in 2 months. He said, you can't do that. And so I'm looking at this dude like, thank you for telling me that, because you just lit a fire under me you just lit a fire underneath me to make sure that I do it. Because I like when people try to oppose me, see? Especially when I have faith in something. When I'm here, I'm on God's mission, and then you gonna challenge me doing God's mission? Oh, now I'm finna really get lit now. You know what I mean? I'm finna really get focused, and I'm finna do all my research. I'm finna put the energy in, the strategies, and I'm gonna go. And that's what I did, you know. I end up going further than he ever went in 5 years. And then that following year, I end up like winning the contest. I went all the way to the finals first year, and then I end up winning. And it was a lot of resistance. And afterwards, people came up to me, and now they wanted to join the Toastmasters. People that you would have never thought. I got a play brother who's a multi-millionaire. This dude, all about money and speaking. He heard I did this. He's like, oh, I want to join Toastmasters. Come on, dude. Like, if I hadn't did this and I just told him about Toastmasters, he would have had no interest. He's one of the same people who would have told me don't do it, you know. But it just goes to show, like, for one, you don't get mad at those people. I know a lot of us tend to say, well, people didn't support me earlier, so fuck them. And I'm not gonna take care of them. I'm gonna say, you know, F you to them and put them on my, I did it without you list. And if you do that, that's up to you. You know, deal with it how you deal with it. That's your life. But for me personally, I don't look at people as people. I look at people as spirits. Because people are fleeting. We're spirits that are inside human bodies, and we go through different emotions. And sometimes when somebody tells you you can't do something, that's not really even them for real. That's just the emotion that they're probably in based on how they feel, their perspective is in their life. And people change. A person to tell you today, I would never live in America. Before Donald Trump got in office, people say, I'm not gonna live in America. And then he got into office and they still was in America complaining, you know? So you can't just go off of what people say, because people do a lot of talking and they just talking. So just because a person don't support you and they say you can't do it, and then later on you get successful and now they're trying to, like, I knew you could do it. I can understand why you get mad, but my thing is, that's just the level of people, period. You know, it's very rare you're gonna get somebody who's very consistent. So I'm not saying that you should hang with those people, but I'm saying we don't have to judge some people and try to hang them on the cross, because they just people. These are just, you know, spirits that just are going through different experiences. And your job is to go through what you're gonna go through, because we all are hypocritical. We all are hypocritical, you know. You've had people that you probably didn't show them support that blew up, you know, and now you like, oh man, and now you in the position on people that you don't like. So overall though, what I'm saying is, when it comes to making some of these amazing decisions, like, you're going to come to a point where you have to make decisions, and people around you don't see your vision. They don't understand where you're coming from, and they logically may have some good information. I want you to look at this like, it's why I talk about astrology a lot. I talk about elements, because the elements are so real to who we are, because we all have these energies in us and our spirits. Like for me, inside I have a lot of fire. You know, I'm a fire sign, Aries moon. I got a lot of Sagittarius energy in my chart. And what happens is when I'm inspired is when I'm at my best, when I become damn near unstoppable, when I'm inspired by something. And sometimes I have a friend who maybe be a very earthy person, because I'm an earth sun sign too. I'm a Capricorn. But I attract other Capricorns and earth signs, logical, rational people, analytical people. And I love these people. But when they see me getting into my inspirational stuff and I'm on fire and I'm coloring my beard and I'm doing creative things, which is what really drives me. That's who I am inside. When they see it, they immediately throw the earth. It's like throwing dirt on top of the fire, because they're trying to stabilize and say, well, you know what, Jackson, that idea on writing that book, it sounds good, but there's no way you can do that thing in 7 days, Jackson. Come on now. You know, and so logically, they'll make good sense and good reasons on why it can't work. And you could listen to them, but you don't have to always, quote unquote, let that stop you. You got to know yourself. For me, that ignites me more when people tell me I can't do it, because it's like they throwing air into the flame. I'm actually getting more lit now. So, you know, for me, that inspires me. But you got to know what really drives you to push you to the next level, and that spirit and having faith. Some people, you know, have faith, but it's only in certain areas of life. So it may not be in your career. It may be dealing with relationships. It may be dealing with your personal body and your physical body. It may be dealing with whatever it's dealing with. But you have to know what ignites your inner dynamite. You got to know you. That's why you want to work hard on your job, but work even harder on yourself. Okay? So I'm saying this not to just be motivational or to be inspirational. I'm saying this is the real type of basic talk that people need to have, is knowledge of self. Not just knowledge of your community, not just your ancestry and where you came from, but no, knowledge of you in this lifetime, what gets you motivated, keeps you motivated, continues projects. What are the things, the obstacles that typically stop you over and over again? And what type of space do you need to put yourself in so that you can start jobs, finish jobs, and take things to the next level? One thing I learned about myself is I do best when I'm going after big things, not small things. When I go after small things and small challenges, for me, I usually lose because it's not enough motivation for me. It doesn't light my fire enough. But when I'm going after a big goal, something that's almost impossible, that my friends would say that wasn't work, when I go after bigger stuff is when I win. That's when I really win. So I had to learn to, instead of trying to sell a product for $100, I'm gonna sell a property for 100,000 or for $1 million or for 10 million or for 100 million. And now I'm gonna light myself on fire, because you're gonna deal with the same type of time and problems regardless on if it's $100 or if it's 10 million. It's usually similar type of stuff that you're gonna battle, because this is all still a universal spiritual battle anyway, you know. So with that being said, man, do you. All right, I'm gonna do me. And then, you know, we're gonna see each other, you know, in traffic. You know, grow your wings, man. But when it's time to make those decisions, you gotta know how to really have faith in yourself, have faith in God, whatever God you believe in. All right. And also, it's the last thing, you gotta be willing to take on whatever consequences that come with it. Because if it doesn't work out, or if it does work out, it's always going to have some type of effect. Are you okay with that? If you feel like you can't handle the effect, then don't do it. But if you feel like, man, whatever happens, I'm willing to take it, well, motherfucker, throw down then. Do your damn thug nizzle, my nizzle. You know, do your thing, man. Do your thing. And even though I'm saying be excited about it, be emotional about it, but don't get caught in your feelings. It's a difference. Emotion and feelings are different. Emotion is energy and motion. So you do want to get emotional, meaning you want to get excited. You want to get your body up. You want to move. You want to move the fire. You want people to feel like, for me, I do that. That may not be your power. You may not be a fiery person, but I'm a fiery person. So that works for me. However, you don't get your feelings involved. See, the feeling is when now you're going to be sad if it doesn't work out, or you're just extra excited if it does. See, you can't have too much of attachment to it, whether if it works out or not. That's the key. You got to be appreciative regardless, just because you on the journey. And when you don't care whether it works out or not, that's when you really get the blessing, because you're not tied to the outcome. You just excited really just because you're doing it, and you just happy because you alive. You know what I'm saying? And you living your dream. The journey is powerful. That's the key right there. Because if it doesn't happen, and if people can sense that your emotions or that your feelings are tied to it, it's going to be harder for you to manifest that thing. You know, I know it has been for me. It's just like a relationship. Like two people in a relationship, the person who has the most feelings involved usually is the weaker person, because the person with least feelings that's willing to get up and walk away has more power in the relationship. You know, but if you switch the dynamic and you not have as much feelings, and you start to not care, and you willing to leave that relationship, then that other person usually gets more feelings and they want you to stay, and they become emotional. So or more deep into their feelings. So usually when you too deep in your feelings, it's like putting a bunch of water on a boat, and now that boat is sinking down. It's hard for that boat to get to sunshine. So you don't want to have too much water in your boat, aka you don't want to have too many feelings in the outcome of the travel that you're on a journey. You just want to have the emotion, the energy in motion to move you enough, to have enough light so that you can have the gas and the fuel to move on this journey, and people can see you shine, but you don't have extra feelings and water that's filling up your capacity, where now if it doesn't work out your way, now you're upset. So it's learn the difference between those, and man, do what you do, man, and have faith. You know, use your willpower, and just be consistent, you know, and don't give up, and make adjustments as you need, because you're gonna have to make adjustments. I got other videos I want you to check out on this channel too. I want you to watch them in full. Watch these other videos in full where I talk further about this topic. Look at the playlist that you'll see. Also get those books, the Shut Up and Hustle book. I wrote those books just for you. All right, make sure you get the Hustle God album. Book me to come out and speak at your next event, or to perform, you know, the music, and we're gonna take things to a whole nother level in that order. Yeah, I'm your hustler homie, platform partner Jackson, all about making things happen. Addicted to action, baby.